Hello everyone, I'm Matthew Allen and welcome back to What a Thought. Did the AC unit kick in right as I started when it had been off the entire time beforehand? Yeah. Yeah, it did. Um let's just I almost said pump the jams, but that is I watched an episode of Kunk on Earth, and so that's why that was on in my head. Oh my lord. What am I? Oh, podcast. Right, that's what we're doing. I've got some couple things. Obviously, I was going to talk about Barbenheimer, but then so many things happened in the past 2 weeks, and that's just sort of how it goes. That's just sort of what happens. Um, so I've written them down, and I'm going to talk about a couple of them because obviously that's what we do here. First one I want to talk about, Sinister Squidward. Have you guys heard about that? The Sinister Squidward game? It's just like, it's not even like I don't even think you pay money for it. It just exists. It's like online. Oh my god, is that Flash or Unity? Sinister Squidward, which I only learned about because it popped up, like an advertisement for it popped up on YouTube. While I was watching YouTube, I would think I was in the midst of trying to watch the kill count for Scream 6. Right? And all of a sudden I get this ad for something called Sinister Squidward. And I was like, what is this? So I watched it. And I was like, oh, okay. We're making a SpongeBob game. We're making a SpongeBob horror game. And then I see that Squidward is apparently intent on just taking his life. But he's like, but before I do that, I'm going to kill everyone who's ruined my life. And I was like, oh. Okay. This is something. And then it kept going. And apparently the whole game is supposed to be that you, as Sandy Cheeks, is trying to find SpongeBob and Patrick so you can help them. And Squidward is there trying to kill you. And it showed the same animation twice. And I think that's so funny. Of Squidward killing you with his clarinet. Which is way more violent than I thought it would be. But I've just been living with this in my head since I saw it last night. Like, it's just been sitting rent-free, just out of context. And I'm just here like, who designed this? You know, I can't seem to find it, which is really upsetting. And now I'm hoping I can maybe find the trailer again. Sinister Squidward trailer. Yeah, see, there's the trailer. Ah, that's why I can't find the game. It was taken down for copyright issues. Because obviously, what did you expect, man? Cough, cough. But you can still find the trailer on YouTube, which I think is really, really funny. It looks very well done. Like the animation style, like however this particular person has designed, you know, the characters and the models in whatever they used to design it. I'd have to assume also Unity. Squidward with a gun. Wild. And it doesn't look the worst. It obviously just looks like whenever anyone else decides to make a cash grabby style horror game based around, what's the word I'm looking for, an already established IP. But it was just so goofy to see, like, without the context, to just have this ad pop up. And I was just like, that's so funny. It's so funny. I like that this link is here, but it's like obviously it can't take you to the game because it's been removed for copyright infringement. This person, the Rinbash, the person who made it, they've posted here. If you go and you watch the little trailer for the game, they've edited the comment that sits underneath the video, like the description, like how I have in all my videos too, to inform about the fact that it's been taken down. And he gives a nice little shout out to everyone else who played the game and that had fun with it and that he enjoyed making it. And I think that's very sweet. It's a little interesting to know that it had to be taken down because of copyright, which honestly, it's not that surprising actually. It's based on a pre-established IP. So yeah, I wonder if they've made anything else. Something called School of the Dead. Okay. Are they using Blender? That makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. But yeah, I don't know. Go check out that little trailer because you can't go play the game. A friend of mine wanted me to play the game, and I have to tell them that I cannot. But yeah, it's interesting. It's cool to see what people make. You know, they put out there for you to play. I think they were putting these out on itch.io, which I don't know if it costs money to play games on itch.io. Oh, name your own price. So someone could not pay. You should. You should always support small developers because then they can go and make great things. Sorry, I was letting the little trailer play in the background. I was paying attention to this other game that this person has also made. But yeah, that was one of the first things that's written down here in these notes that I was like, I need to get this out to the people. I was like, I need everyone else's eyeballs to have to witness what I witnessed, because what I witnessed was so, I don't want to say fantastical, but it was a moment. That is for certain. Sorry, I had a cough. I don't have my water with me because I'm dumb. And I came directly to record from cleaning I was doing because it's Sunday and that's what I do. And so I was like, oh, cool. I'm just going to put down all my cleaning supplies because I have to go do more cleaning when I'm done. And I was like, and I'll just record. And then I sat here without water. And I was like, oh no. And now you all get to know that. But yeah, that's Sinister Squidward. You know, check it out. Give some support. I'm deleting it from my little notes on my phone. Okay. I'll save that for the end. So instead I will talk about this new Exorcist film. Something I did not know was occurring. And I don't think most people did. I don't know if it's still I don't know if it's still holding fast to its original release date with, you know, everything that's occurring. But it's one of those requel films, you know, as Scream 5 put it so nicely. If you don't know what a requel is, that is a reboot sequel. So the film is taking aspects of the tale from the original, so like it'll take some parts of the plot, keep it as canon to its world, while usually ignoring some other stuff, but making it accessible for a new age of viewers or something, right? That's what this is. So The Exorcist Believer. I'm going to read you the little plot thing here on Google real quick. When his daughter Angela and her friend Catherine show signs of demonic possession, it unleashes a chain of events that forces single father Victor Fielding to confront the nadir of evil. Terrified and desperate, he seeks out Chris McNeil, the only person alive who's witnessed anything like it before. So if you've never seen The Exorcist, you know, with Reagan, all that fun stuff, but I forget the name of the father who jumps out the window at the end, the iconic moment. That's The Exorcist. Everyone knows The Exorcist. It's a great film. I did not realize that was Leslie Odom Jr., but that makes a lot more sense. Anyways, So they're making this. It's being directed by David Gordon Green, who, if you don't know David Gordon Green, that's the man that was at the helm of the Halloween requel trilogy. You know, Halloween, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. So I have some hope for 2 out of those 3. You know, I've got a lot of hope for The Exorcist Believer because of that. I saw the trailer for this when I went and saw Oppenheimer. And when it started, I was like, oh, this is going to be some movie about 2 kids who go missing and their parents fight to, like, find them or something. And then the kids showed back up in the trailer, and I was like, oh, this isn't what I was expecting. And then it kept going. And then it clicked for me before I saw the title, because they were playing a music cue, and it is an iconic music cue from The Exorcist. I'm actually about to plug my headset back in. I wear headphones when I record, but I don't like to listen to myself because I think that's stupid. But I wear headphones in order to, like, muffle the noise that I'm hearing because it's weird. You know? If you can hear me clicking, it's me skipping ahead in the trailer to hear that music cue. Yeah. There it is. I had to unplug it so I could actually do it. Anyways, I've never seen The Exorcist. I know a lot about it because obviously I'm a filmmaker. But it was very fascinating to see that we are returning to the Exorcist franchise. There are legacy characters and everything in it. They've got, obviously, as was stated, the actress who played Chris McNeil, who I believe was the mother of Reagan in the first movie, which I'm gonna go pull up that good old 1973 film cast. No. Yes. Yeah, they have her back. And I think that's very fascinating. When you look at the cast for it's called The Exorcist Believer. I don't know if I ever stated that. When you look at the cast, it also states that Linda Blair is back, which would be fascinating to have that actress back in this film. But I'm very intrigued. I'm very intrigued to see if this movie does well. I'm intrigued to see if it's something that anyone who hasn't seen the previous Exorcist films can just jump into, or if it requires having the prior knowledge in order to get into it. You know, a lot of these requel films, they kind of build themselves on the fact that they don't need you to go see the other movies to see this one, to understand this one, but that it's beneficial if you do, just to have a knowledge of the franchise. But then also so that, like, you know, I hope that sentence didn't just fumble out, because it feels like it did. Anyway, what I was trying to say was, requel films tend to make it so that you don't have to go see all however many films that came out before it in order to understand this new one that's coming out, while also expanding upon some of the lore from the others. So obviously, Halloween 2018, it's a direct sequel to the first film, which makes it the, like, third shift in the timeline for Laurie Strode and her whole existence of nonsense, if you're paying attention to that. But it takes some of the things that are stated, some things that are sometimes questioned within the canon, and it gives it some answers to it. And that's how that one worked. Scream 5, obviously we had the return of legacy characters, aka the surviving 3 from the original films, Dewey, Gale, and Sydney. But we also had our new cast. We had them discuss and talk about the things of the past, but also building their own, paved path towards the future. And so I'm excited to see what the Exorcist 2023 film, Believer, will do. Yeah, because it comes out in October. Maybe this one will still, come out when it's supposed to. Anyways, I'm excited for it. I think it's fascinating. I enjoyed the trailer in the theater because it did truly, it caught me off guard. It 100% caught me off guard, and I did not know what to do about it. So I'm sure it'll be good. I'm sure it'll be interesting. Maybe we won't have to kill a priest. I also know that a trailer for the 10th Saw film also hit the world, but I haven't watched that, so I cannot commentate on it. I will just have to, on my own, eventually go watch that, you know? But yeah, that was another thing that was here in the list. I was like, I don't know if more people know about this. I haven't seen too many people talking about it, which is only a little fascinating, but also very expected, because that's just sort of the case of the nature with horror movie sequels like this. Like, this trailer for Believer came out at the end of July. It's been like maybe 2 weeks, right? And the film comes out October 13th, because we do have a Friday the 13th this year, and it is in October, if you did not know, which is very fun. I will be watching so few horror movies because I work on Fridays, but I will try to watch at least one. But like, I think it's fun to see movies like this coming out. I'm more excited for new IPs, especially in the world of horror. There's a lot of fun when it comes to new IPs. That's how you get stuff like Megan and Bodies. Obviously we've mentioned IPs already, so I don't have to explain intellectual properties. I've heard great things about the A24 film that came out recently. Talk to Me. Like, I've heard wonderful things about that film. I haven't had the chance to see it. I'm excited for Five Nights at Freddy's. I've never played any of the games, and I barely keep up with it, but just the fact that it's being adapted into a movie seems like a fun time. You know, horror IPs tend to be very hit or miss. This is why we get such long-running franchises. This is why we get spin-offs of long-running franchises. It's ridiculous. You know, look at the late great classics of horror. They're long. There's so many of them. I have an 8-movie collection of Friday the 13th. There are 10 movies. I own 9 of them. Sorry, there's 11 movies if you count Freddy vs. Jason. But I own 9 that are specifically about him. I don't have Final Friday, Jason Goes to Hell. But that's like 10 films. That's a very long franchise. It's like Nightmare on Elm Street has seven films, and then also Freddy vs. Jason, so then technically 8. You know, you look at all those classics. Look back at Halloween, like was mentioned because of David Gordon Green. Like, Halloween, that's what? That's like, I feel like there's too many. I started to count, and I was like, I think there's 12 Halloween franchise. It's like, there's a lot of movies. Okay. 5, Curse, H2O Resurrection. Not looking at the Rob Zombie films. And then those 3, that makes 11. And then counting the Rob Zombie films makes 13. Dear Lord. I did not realize. Oh, no, a little yawn. That's so fascinating. 13 Halloween movies, and only 12 of them actually have Michael Myers. In case no one knows about Season of the Witch, they should have connected that into Halloween Ends, and I still stand by that. Anyways, you know, that's 13 films to that franchise with like 3 different timelines. Who's the other big one? Ghostface, we've now got 6 of those. We've got 6 Scream movies. That's so wild. I'm trying to think about all the other big franchises. There's only 2 Thing movies, and there doesn't need to be any more. Who's the other one that I'm blanking on? We've got Michael, Jason, Ghostface, and Freddy. Oh, Chucky. Sorry, I was trying to remember the other one, and it's Chucky. That man's got 7 movies and 2 seasons of a TV show. Like, a lot of these franchises run really long, and that's the reason, is because they draw in people. And obviously, we're going to keep making films and shows if they keep drawing in people. Even Tremors has, like, 7 films. Someone go ask Go ask Zoran Kavoyich about Tremors, and you'll get a whole sea of knowledge. I only know that man's name because of Dead Meat and the Blue Bunny ice cream ads, because he voices the Blue Bunny, and I think that's funny. So, like, I'm excited for The Exorcist Believer. That was the whole point of the sentence. Obviously, the trend of requels and franchise reboots is going to continue, but it's also nice to see a lot of the, like, new horror IPs that come out. Like, I'm trying to Google real quick. Which horror films released in 2022? You're really funny, Google, for even considering placing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness in that collection. I just need, like, a Wikipedia page. I don't want the best. I just want a wiki page of them. VHS 99, Smile, Nope, X, and Pearl. Because I forget those came out in the same year sometimes. This is just 2022. Bones and All. I watched that. I thought it was solid. Fresh. That was also 2022? Okay. You know, we got Prey, The Invitation. I think Terrifier 2, in case you just hated your life. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. We did also get Halloween Ends, but the less we say about that, the better. Crimes of the Future. Studio 666, The Menu. Like, there's a lot, right? There's a lot of just solid... Barbarian, I missed that the first time I was scrolling through. There was a lot of films that were new. Like, they had their own thing. Megan, White Noise, like... And they're fascinating. They're fun. And it's good that we get to get more of those types of films. And just kind of see where it goes from there. I did really enjoy Bones and All. I felt like I was watching some indie drama, but instead it's about cannibals. But also, if I could unsee them eating that old woman, I would. That does haunt me just a little bit. Okay. No. Let me spell it right. So, obviously, I can't put this out in good faith without mentioning two more things, two more people who have left this world. Obviously, if for anyone who is a fan of Euphoria or the character of Fezco, Angus Cloud passed away. I think that was a little unexpected, but I also know that the lifestyle of someone can change very drastically when you're given access to to money in such a fashion. And that's just the nature of the beast. Obviously, I don't know how he died, and I feel like it'd be disrespectful to look it up and be like, what's the speculations? But he has passed away. And I know that for some people that's going to be a very tragic thing. I know for others, like, he was not around as a prominent figure long enough for others to, you know, what's the word I'm trying to say? To be present in their minds. And that's okay. It's like, I believe there's a whole... I believe part of it might have to do with the loneliness he felt as a person. And that's just... It is what it is. So he has passed away. And also, the world has lost Paul Rubens. Which I also was not expecting, even though that he was an older man at this point. Best known for being Pee-wee. Pee-wee Herman, if you don't know. Paul Rubens and Pee-wee are a staple to the world. And I think it's sad to see him go. Obviously, that's just gonna happen as people get older. We know that. It doesn't mean we want it to happen. We just kind of have to accept it. But yeah, Paul Reubens has also passed away. He's gonna be missed. He's had such a long career. He's done so much. And the legacy of Pee Wee Herman and Paul Reubens himself is gonna just go on for so long. And rightfully so that it should. I've personally will be honest and say that I think I've only ever seen bits and pieces of any particular Pee Wee film. That's just because I don't have access to them. I don't know what they're on. I haven't been shown it. My family wasn't a Pee Wee Herman family. But I know that there are plenty of people out there who they loved his work. They loved him for his everything. So hopefully both him and Angus, they are having the times of their lives in whatever afterlife they believe in, and resting peacefully. That is the somber note that I will close out today's podcast on. So thank you guys so much for listening. If you liked it, make sure to click on that Linktree link that's down in the description. Obviously, one of those links will take you to the YouTube channel The Soloist, which contains its own set of games, as well as all old streams from the Twitch channel, which go up on there a week after they air. Excuse me. You can also find all of my social media. I am on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. If you want to see me speak candidly, I'm on Twitter. If you want to get all of the finite schedules that are hard-lined and very readable, you can go check out Instagram. And if occasionally, once in every blue moon, you want to see something pop up in a funny manner, I guess you can go to TikTok. Did I say all that right? Instagram's for hard-hitting, Twitter is for personality, and TikTok is for when I actually remember it exists. Yeah, cool. So thank you guys so much for listening. Tune back in next week, Monday, where we will have another chapter set of Twilight. I did forget what book I was reading for a second. I've contemplated over what book will be read after Twilight, and I, to this day, still don't know. On my shelf, I have one more sequel to one of the other pre-existing franchises, but I've also thought about starting a different franchise entirely. I've also thought about starting an entirely other different franchise, if I can find the book. I've also got a bunch of books that just aren't on my person, that if I have access to, I can also read. Because I own so many more books than I'd ever like anyone to know. So many books. But yeah, so thank you guys again. Until then, I've been Matthew Allen, this has been What a Thought, and I will see all of you next week.